said it's cold outside and she hands me my raincoat. She's always worried about things like that. But she said it's all gonna end and it might as well be my fault. Yeah, she only sleeps when it's raining, and she screams, and her voice is straining. She says, baby, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely. She says, baby, I can't help but be scared of it all sometimes. That the rain's gonna wash away, I believe it. Oh, yeah. She's got a little bit of something. God, it's better than nothing. And in her color portrait world, she believes that she's got it all. She swears the moon don't hang quite as high as it used to. She only sleeps when it's raining, and she screams, and her voice is strange. She says, baby, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely. She says, baby, I can't help but be scared of it all sometimes. That the rain's gonna wash away, and I believe in this. Oh, yeah. God help me, I believe this. She believes her life is made up of all that she's used to. And the clock on the wall has been stuck at 3 for days and days. She thinks that happiness is a mat that sits on her doorway. And outside it stopped to rain. Yeah, well, she says, baby, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely. She says, baby, I can't help but be scared of it all sometimes. That the rain's gonna wash away, I believe it. 3 a.m., I must be lonely. Yeah, well, she says, baby, I can't help but be scared of it all sometimes. Woo.
Then
could you whisper in my ear the things you wanna feel? I'll give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own and wonder where you are and live with all your faults? I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all. So why don't you say? Yeah, we're gonna let it slide. Don't you love the life you killed? The priest is on the phone. Your father hit the wall. Your mother disowned you. Don't suppose to know what it means to be a man. Something I can't change, I live around it. I wanna wake up where you are. I don't say anything at all. So why don't you slide? Yeah, slide. Yeah, and I'll do anything, ever dream, be complete. Little pieces of the nothing. And put your arms around me, 'cause what you feel is what you are, is beautiful, oh man. You wanna get married, or run away? I'll do anything you ever dreamed to be complete. Little pieces of nothing that put your arms around me, 'cause what you feel is what you are, is beautiful, oh man. You wanna get married, or run away?
Good morning, and welcome to Daywave, Wednesday show. No. A little Goo Goo Dolls. Some Daryl Hall. That's right. Some fucking alpha ass shit, dogs. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here. Or not. I don't know. Whatever. So we got bad news and we got good news. The bad news is that Iran attacked an Iraqi base that held U.S. troops. The good news is, if you're to believe the Pentagon, 0 American soldiers were killed. If you're to believe Iran, 80 American soldiers were killed. I obviously don't have a lot of faith in the Pentagon or the CIA or any of that shit. However, I also don't have a lot of faith in Iran. Here's my take. My completely uninformed, not a political talking head take. I don't really think any U.S. troops were killed. I mean, I hope not, but I don't think so. I do think that Iran doesn't want to go to war with us either, but they had to show some sort of retaliation. The base that they hit was not the closest one to them, and it held less troops than the other bases. So I am hoping this was just some sort of posturing, you know? I am hoping it's some sort of posturing, and I would like to think that if we don't escalate beyond this, we're good. I'm bummed because regardless of whether we go tit for tat, or as if everybody's saying, regardless of whether we do that or not, I am at least certain that there is no chance now that we're going to be pulling any troops out of there now. We're not pulling the troops out of Iraq. We're not pulling any troops out now because we've got to have them there now because you never know what's going to happen. I know a 737 was shot down. Well, we don't know. First off, they said mechanical failure, but then even Iran deleted that from their official statement. So I don't know, man. Is it possible Iran accidentally shot down a Ukrainian 737? Maybe. But I don't know. You know, like, I don't know. I know that Trump didn't say anything last night. He's supposed to say something today. I'm not sure at what time. Um, I really hope. I really hope that this doesn't escalate. Well, somebody donated, and the stupid thing is being gay again, so I have to fix it. I'll read it and I'll play it. Just give me a second. I have to fix the fucking donation thing because it can be gay at times. Let's see here. What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? Let's see. Let's play it again.
Whoa! Look at that.
Good morning. Can't stay 'cause of work, but love the show and appreciate everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you. Much appreciated. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know that the ITS, I do know that 737 was shot down. 63 Canadians among the dead after the Ukrainian plane crash in Iran. What the fuck were 63 Canadians doing in a Ukrainian plane in Iran? I don't even, whatever. Cause of flight, PS752 carrying 167 passengers and 9 crew unknown. Plane goes down minutes after takeoff. Ukraine International Airlines flight PS752 from Tehran to Kyiv crashes Wednesday morning near an airport in Iran, killing all aboard. Airlines say preliminary data suggests that there were 167 passengers and 9 crew members within the flight. Ukrainian foreign minister says the total on board includes 63 Canadians. Cause of the crash is unclear. Early comments from officials cited possible mechanical failures. Ukrainian embassy later says in a statement that previous comments about the crash weren't official. 63 Canadians are among the dead after the Ukrainian International Airlines plane crash near Iran's capital, killing 176 crew, and Ukraine's foreign minister said, hey, that's perfect. Canada, you do something about it. Your citizens, do something. Oh, do it. Why don't you do it? Trudeau has a beard now. Fucking do it, dog. You go over there. Figure it out. Which, look, it sucks. I mean, plane going down is terrible. I'm not trying to belittle that. I'm just saying, like, all right, well, you know, if it would have been American citizens, we would be at war right now. The passenger flight crashed Wednesday just minutes after taking off from Tehran's main airport, turning farmland into fields of flaming debris. Ukraine Foreign Affairs Minister Vadim Postakio said 82 Iranians, 63 Canadians, and 11 Ukrainians were aboard. The Ukrainian nationals include 2 passengers and the 9 crew. There were also 10 Swedish, 4 Afghan, 3 German, and 3 British nationals. Francois-Philippe Champagne, Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Wednesday expressed his condolences to the victims and said he has been in touch with the Ukrainian government. Tragic news regarding Ukraine's International Airlines Flight 752. Our hearts are with the loved ones and the victims, including many Canadians.
Whoa! Look at
Thank
that.
you, Croco.
Pro tip in restaurant world: Canadian is code for the blacks.
We will continue to keep Canadians informed as the situation evolves. The crash came hours after Iran launched ballistic missile attacks on Iraqi bases housing U.S. soldiers, but Iranian officials said that they suspected a mechanical issue brought down the 3.5-year-old Boeing 737. So here's the thing with these 737s, right? I'm not saying they didn't shoot it down, but remember, these 737s were the ones that were having a problem with Boeing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was the 737s. Ukrainian officials initially agreed, but later backed away and declined to offer because while the investigation is ongoing, airline officials said most of the passengers were en route to the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, transiting through the destination. Staff of Boryspil International Airport in Kyiv told the Associated Press that passengers on the flight are usually Iranian students returning to Ukraine after winter holidays. Ukrainian International Airlines said it had indefinitely suspended flights to Tehran after the crash. It was one of the best planes we had with an amazing, reliable crew. The airlines released a list of passengers on the plane. Cause of crash not yet clear. Ukraine International Airlines statement said it is working to confirm the accuracy of the reports regarding the causes of the crash. Our task is to establish the cause of the crash of the Boeing and provide all necessary help to the families and victims. The airline said it is indefinitely suspending flights to Iran after the crash. I already read that. Qassam Binazi, a spokesperson for Iran's Road and Transportation Ministry, said it appeared a fire struck one of the engines. The pilots on one of the aircraft then lost control of the plane, sending it crashing into the ground. Under international rules, responsibility for investigating the crash lies with Iran. Oh, that's great. And Iranian state television said both of the plane's black boxes have been found. Ukrainian authorities had offered to help with the crash investigation. We're bringing a group of specialists in order to help with the search of operations and the investigation. Dean Mohammed Qassami, who lives near the crash site, said he had been watching the news about Iran's ballistic missile attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq following the killings of the Revolutionary Guard. When he heard a crash, I heard a massive explosion and all the houses started to shake. There was fire everywhere, he told AP. At first, I thought the Americans had hit here with missiles and went to the basement as a shelter. After a while, I went out and saw the planes had crashed over there. Body parts were lying around everywhere. Jesus Christ. The flights have been delayed before the crash. Yeah, I mean, this is here.
Is at the White House. Don't know if they're meeting in the Situation Room, the Oval Office. We continue to get some more information coming out of the White House this evening as they monitor all of this very, very closely. And we wait to get information on the damage from these missile attacks. We want to go back to Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst, who is live in Baghdad as we speak, where this attack is taking place in the country of Iraq. Trey, what are you learning now?
Martha, we are learning that according to Iranian state television, these attacks are being ordered from the control room of Iran's military directly by the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei.
That's the other thing. That these attacks are not being ordered by proxy like the other attacks. These are being ordered directly by Iran.
Confirm that information, but that is coming from Iranian state television. It could simply be propaganda, or it could be something that moving forward we see of more often. Remember Soleimani, the man who was killed as a result of that U.S. drone strike early on Friday of last week outside of Baghdad's international airport, was largely considered the second most powerful man in Iran when it comes to military, only second to the Ayatollah himself. So again, those reports that he is actually ordering these attacks on that base in western Iraq that houses American
Yeah, I'll watch
troops.
the presidential address. It's at 11 a.m., right?
Mentioned there's also reports of a base in northern Iraq in the city of Erbil that houses American troops that's being targeted, and we're getting reports in right now from the Voice of America that just about 10 miles from here, and I looked out to try to see what we could see. There is a base housing American troops called Camp Taji that is also receiving missile fire from Iran. And that's an important note too, Martha, is that the types of projectiles that are being used, actually shooting missiles from Iranian territory into Iraq, is a totally different thing than.
See what's going on now. What's McConnell saying? Let's see what McConnell's saying.
Dragging their heels and refusing to proceed to a Senate trial.
Oh, this is impeachment.
Supposedly, the explanation for this shameless game playing is a Clinton trial rather than hold out for special new rules.
What the fuck is that? Jesus Christ.
So we're beginning to hear from the American people how they view this standoff. We all know that senators have a diversity of opinion about President Trump.
This is impeachment stuff. I don't really care. This doesn't really matter. None of this is even relevant anymore. Nothing's going to happen with fucking impeachment.
Haven't enough toxic new precedents been set?
Well, I'll keep a tab
in
open
recent months?
where they're going to have the 11 a.m. press conference. So I'll keep that open. I'll keep it open so we have it. I just want a little bit more about this.
The region has seen previously, and remember we talked about this timeline before of the initial strike by an Iranian-backed Iraqi Shia militia group in Iraq that killed an American contractor and injured 4 U.S. service members. Those were just rockets. That was very small compared to what we are seeing fired tonight, and they were fired by an Iranian-backed militia group, Kataib Hezbollah. The Iranian regime actually firing their own missiles from their own territory towards a base that houses American troops is a major escalation. And we talk about the issue of American allies in the region and how they will respond. We can assume that they are.
Yeah, I'll tell you how they respond. Israel's already like, oh, you leave me out of this. This isn't our problem. fucking, even though they reap the benefits from this always. I'm really, whatever, man. And Saudi Arabia, too, they fucking love this. Saudi Arabia wants us to stay there, too. I mean, obviously, it's really easy to criticize Israel, and they should be in a lot of these cases when it comes to this Middle East stuff, because a lot of this stuff is, it stems from a lot of us protecting them. But Saudi Arabia, too. I think that a lot of the time Saudi Arabia gets off the hook because it's, there's a lot of like, it's Israel. Yeah, but what about Saudi Arabia, man? I mean, to pretend like we're not we haven't fucking lost people to fucking help them out is really just blind. Like they deserve a lot of fucking blame too,
Especially countries like Israel, on what the Americans know about this attack tonight. I spoke earlier this year with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, asking him about the possibility of striking Iran within its own borders. He said that it's not something he would rule out, and as we know, President Trump is not ruling that out either. He reconfirmed today that he would be willing to strike Iranian cultural sites in Tehran or other places within Iran. That, too, is something that is going to be seen by the Iranians as something.
Now, here's the thing I don't understand. Why even threaten what Iranian culture sites? What is wrong with you? Like, look, I'm not fucking stop. Man, I'm not even, look, I don't want to attack anything, but if you're going to, fucking attack their military bases, right? I get it, okay? Not I get it. I don't want that. I definitely don't want that to happen. But their cultural sites, oh, cool. So when Iran was, they're not going to, but just as an example, let's attack the Washington Monument. Like, fuck you, dude. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Nobody wants this. Stop. 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 We please do not escalate this. Please don't. Enough. 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 Leave. Leave. Bring every single troop from the Middle East home. Leave. They don't want us there. Iraq voted for American troops to leave. Now we're saying we're not leaving. I remember going into Iraq. We want to install a democratic government. Let them vote for their own. They're a sovereign nation. This is democratically voted for us to leave. Fucking leave. And then it's like, yeah, I don't want them to leave. They owe us money for other bases and stuff. They don't owe us shit. They didn't ask for us to go there. Leave. Fucking leave. Enough. We're done. We got our own fucking problems. Leave.
Potentially they will fear, but obviously as a result of what we are seeing tonight, not something that they feel they're unprepared for. What all of this is certainly, it's hard to put it into perspective, but when you step back and you see what is happening tonight, ongoing missile attacks towards Iraqi bases that house American troops, this is exactly the type of nightmare scenario that President Trump outlined, that Secretary Pompeo outlined, that Secretary Esper.
If the goal is to, so let's say you're Trump, right? And look, I know there's people that disagree with me. I know that there's people that disagree with me, all right? But if the goal for Trump is, let's say, to get reelected, right? Like that's his goal. That's his end game. That's his goal. That's what he wants, and it should be. Every president that's running again should want to get reelected. It's not going to happen. I know it's not. But if he were to come out at 11 a.m. and go, look, guys, all right, that's it, enough. I'm not putting. I respect our troops too much to put them in danger. We have nothing to gain over there, folks. There's nothing to gain. Look, these people don't like us, and I ran on leaving. And he says, right, I'm pulling all the troops out of the Middle East starting right now. We're bringing them all back. All the boys are coming home to be with their families, and we're going to have these troops protect our borders. They're all coming back. he doesn't lose he doesn't lose the next election, because there's a lot of moderate liberals that would go like, man, this guy's less war hawkish than everybody fucking running on the fucking left. This guy is less of a fucking war hawk than the fucking Obama was. That's it. And Republicans are going to vote for him no matter what, right? Like, they're not going to go, oh, you didn't go to war with Iran? We're going to vote for Bernie. They're not going to do that. They're going to vote for him. I really don't see any downside here. There's Miami Milf. I would vote for him. Exactly. A lot of people that would not normally vote for him would vote for him. The fucking boomers sitting in their trucks screaming at a camera are going to vote for him no matter what. I mean, look, if we've learned anything from this Iran thing, they're going to vote for him no matter what. So he's not losing those votes, okay? Leave right now. Ah, goddamn fucking. Hold on. Sorry, it probably froze for a second. I don't know why the encoder overloaded. There should be no reason for that to have happened, but whatever. Leave. That's it. We don't need to be there. So, let's get out of there. Enough. Enough. If that, look, man, if that's the goal, right? If the goal is to get reelected, then fucking leave. It's really, really, really simple. Don't have to overthink it. You don't have to do anything. Just get out of there.
Outlined that the United States would respond to. The White House confirmed he is meeting with his national security team and he's being briefed on the situation. But the president earlier this week said he would be responding to any sorts of provocations like this if Americans were targeted. We do know that there are American soldiers at that base. There are reports coming in from other outlets that there have been casualties on the Iraqi side. Specifically on the Iraqi side, there's no word yet on Americans at this base, but many of these bases, they house a mixture of Iraqis and Americans, mostly in the fight against the Islamic State. There are also other countries that have troops in the region assisting American coalition forces in the fight against ISIS, including Canada. Canada announcing today that they'd be moving their troops to neighboring Kuwait. They will be joined.
Yeah, all five of them. All five of them. Thanks, Canada. Very cool.
More than 3,000 U.S. troops that were deployed there last week by President Trump as a result of these ongoing threats by the Iranians. The next step and what happens in the morning, no one knows. And we don't even know if this attack tonight is over yet. Again, there are reports that missiles are still being fired into Iraqi territory. Some reports just miles away from where we're standing right now, an Iraqi base with American troops reportedly being hit as we speak, Martha.
Trey, you bring up our regional allies and the Iran guards who are putting out statements, obviously, you know, to some extent trying to capitalize as much as possible on this opportunity this evening with the firing of these missiles, warning U.S. regional.
80. There were 63 Canadians on the airplane. I just read it first. 63 Canadians.
Allies that they will be attacked if their countries are used for attacks against Tehran. And you mentioned the Canadian forces moving to Kuwait, and there's been so much discussion about whether or not the United States will stay in Iraq. All of this provides.
They already said it yesterday. There's not discussion. They're staying. We're staying. Even if fucking God willing, even if we don't go to what's going on here.
To those terrorists like Soleimani and saying no longer is America. Well, I want to thank Dan Crenshaw and Brad Wenstrup for their service to our country.
Fucking Crenshaw, there he is, the little neocon standing behind him.
Freedoms, and to all of them have to take.
Hold on, let's hear him. Let's hear Eyeball Boy.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear him. Let's hear Eyeball Boy. Let's see what he's got to say.
Thank you, Dr. Wenstrup. And now I'd like to turn things over to our colleague, gentleman from Texas, Mr. Crenshaw.
Thank you. I deployed to Iraq twice, deployed to Afghanistan once, And after getting blown up, I deployed back to the Middle East and Bahrain.
You're such a hero.
I have seen the Iranian threat network, studied it closely. I've seen what their export of weapons does to our soldiers in Iraq. Over 600 killed by IEDs, specialized IEDs that were exported there from the Iranians. The Iranians are experts at surrogate warfare. They create sleeper cells in Bahrain, right next to our Navy base. They stoke civil war in Yemen, in Iraq, and in Syria. They're experts at creating chaos.
Fine. All those things might be true, but it shouldn't be our fucking problem. It shouldn't be our problem. I understand all those things are true. Fine. Okay. I got it. But let them handle their shit. Iranians and Iraqis aren't over here stopping our drug cartels because they're fucking killing American citizens. Why the fuck are we over there? Let them have their civil wars. Let them handle their own shit, you cringe pirate.
Now, the Democrats' arguments rely on two false premises. One is that history began with Donald Trump's strike against Soleimani.
No, it was in 1979. We all know, buddy. We've all read the fucking internet.
That is, of course, not true. History began long before that. The Iranians have been escalating against the United States for a very long time, started in 1979. More recently...
See, look, I could do these talking points. I'll tell you, man, these neocon talking points are so paint by numbers, I could do them. Yes, fine. Maybe it started in 1979. We also sold fucking weapons to them when fucking Reagan was in office. We also sold weapons to Osama bin Laden. I understand. I know how it works, but just because something's been going on doesn't mean you keep doing it. You know what would solve this, at least for us? Leaving.
Recently, they embarrassed our U.S. Navy sailors after they boarded a U.S. Navy vessel. They've shot down U.S. troops.
You know who else embarrassed our U.S. Navy sailors? Israel, the USS Liberty. But that's okay. That's fine. That doesn't matter because Israel, fuck you, you disingenuous one-eyed fuck.
Drones, they've put limpet mines on oil tankers. They've attacked Saudi oil facilities.
Saudi oil facilities. Again, not American oil facilities, Saudi oil facilities. The same Saudi Arabians who funded the dry run on 9/11. And how many of the hijackers were Saudi nationals? Most of them? Yeah, you're right. But you know what? They hurt them. Forget the fact that they fucking helped on 9/11. They hurt them. Number one priority is to vote Crenshaw out of office. I agree, Fat Keck Boy.
They put rocket attacks towards our bases, and they orchestrated an attack against a U.S. embassy. History began long before Donald Trump finally took action and stopped letting the Iranians punch us in the face.
No. Just because you lost an eye doesn't mean that the other people have to go there and lose an eye. Dan. Fucking Dan. Heroes aren't named Dan, by the way. Let's start with that, Dan. Secondly, Dan, we don't need fucking anybody else going over there because of your hard-on for war. This man, you thought McCain was bad? This guy's going to be worse. I'm telling you, he might already be worse. This guy might be worse than McCain. He wants war. This bolstering just fucking, fuck it, all right. Leave. If you gave a fuck, we would leave. We're energy independent now, homeboys. We don't need Saudi Arabia anymore. We don't fucking need them. We're fine. Let them have their fucking horse shit. Let them settle their fucking stuff. Stop sending our jets and our planes and our people to fucking die for these Middle Eastern countries. None of them to give a flying fuck about us. Don't let fucking this one-eyed, can't answer a question without calling you an anti-Semite fuck tell you any differently. War-hawking piece of shit. Now he's defending Trump when he was talking cash money shit about Trump when Trump was one of the Republican candidates.
The second false premise is that there is this false choice between doing nothing and all-out war.
Okay, sorry. Let him explain. I'm trying to let him talk. Sorry. I apologize.
The president is not taking us to all-out war. There is a lot in between.
Like what?
And we have to be more honest about that fact.
Like what? What's in between, Danny?
We have to set a red line and say that as the United States of America, we will not be punished indefinitely. We have to take action.
We will not be punished indefinitely. And you know how you're not punished indefinitely? By fucking leaving. If I walk into a nightclub every single night and I get the shit beat out of me every single night, I would not go to that place anymore. And then I will stop being punished because apparently I'm not welcome there. And I'm not arrogant enough to think that I deserve to be there if everybody in the room doesn't want me there. It's really simple. I know it's a childish analogy, but it's true.
We had to respond, and the president did just that. And it's time to be unified behind our president instead of casting partisan stones.
It's not partisan. Sorry, it's not partisan. This isn't a partisan thing. It is not partisan. Partisan would think that all the Democrats are against it and all the Republicans are for it. And that's not true. There's a lot of Democrats that are for it. Chuck Schumer, for example. Chuck Schumer might bolster it, but Chuck Schumer wants this. Nancy Pelosi wants this. Don't fucking pretend like it doesn't. Hillary Clinton definitely wants this. This isn't partisan. And there's a lot of people on the right, myself included, that don't want this. Stop pretending like this is partisan. This isn't. The impeachment is partisan. This is not. So stop doing malibtards to defend yourself. You and that fucking slut Nikki Haley can all suck my fucking dick.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank.
You're their. By the way, Dan, you're their little token, you motherfucker. You're their little fucking token army vet hero. He's a war hero. Well, we got to attack people. We'll get Dan Crenshaw up there. People with truck nuts, people with fucking truck nuts on their truck and American flags are going to go out there and be like, that Dan Crenshaw, hero. That's what this is. That's all this is. It's very simple. That's all this is.
Whoa!
And Brad
Look at
Wenstrup.
that.
Thank you, Lamadurk.
Goddamn Iranians putting their country next to our army bases.
Mm-hmm. It really absolutely blows my fucking mind. Mitch obviously friends with him for fucking more than a decade. I was in the Middle East. We need not be in the Middle East. Thank you. Mitch served. No one listens to people like him, though. Nobody cares about the vets that are saying we don't need to be there because Dan Crenshaw has an eye patch.
For their service to our country, the things they did to help defend our freedoms, and to all of the men and women who are defending our freedoms today.
There is a lot of American troops that defend our freedoms. But tell me how being in Iran and getting into a conflict with them or with Iraq is defending our freedoms. I'm asking, what freedoms has Iraq ever tried to take from us? What freedoms has Iran ever tried to take from us? What freedoms? Give me a list of freedoms they've tried to take from us. I'll tell you who took our freedoms from us. The Senate, the House, the Patriot Act. That took our freedoms from us. These people standing in this room that you're seeing right here, the people standing in this room, the people that go there on our dime every day and have a fucking steak dinner at Morton's on our dime and make millions of dollars off of book deals and lobbying stuff, they have taken more of our freedoms than any person in Iraq, in Iran, or the entire Middle East has ever attempted to or ever done. None of them are taking our freedoms. If you want to protect our freedoms, then we have to stop the fucking Senate and the House from taking our freedoms. Because last I checked, Iraq and Iran weren't the ones that raised the age of vaping and smoking. Not that I checked. It wasn't them. They're not the ones that did it. Iraq and Iran aren't the ones that passed draconian laws in states where you can't criticize Israel. That wasn't them. They're not the ones that said that we couldn't do that. Was Iran the one that re-signed a bunch of sections of the Patriot Act to reenact it? Is Iran the one that's sitting there with an entire database of every phone call and every text that we've ever sent? Is that Iran? Was it the Iranian government that's trying currently as we speak to have a coup to get the president taken out of office since he was elected?
Whoa! Look at that.
Thank you.
Got the morning off. Love being able to catch Day Wave when it airs. Stay fresh, Royce.
Are they the ones? Thank you, by the way. Are they the ones doing it? Are they the ones taking our freedoms? Because last I checked, in my entire adult life, the only people that have ever taken my freedoms have been American citizens in Washington, D.C. Nobody in the Middle East has ever threatened my freedom or anybody's freedom. If they have, I'd like to know an example. Because implying that troops are over there to protect our freedom implies that if they weren't over there, Iran was going to come over here and take over the United States. They wouldn't. That would never happen. Well, I mean, technically they're American citizens, but they're also citizens of other countries too. Dual citizens, but still American. And by the way, Crenshaw's not fucking Jewish. So let's not look. We could sit here and we could. Look, man, I'm the first one to criticize a lot of dual citizenships and dual loyalty. The very first one. There's a lot of fucking white boys in there that are voting there with these people. So let's not sit here and pretend like it's just them. You know. Yeah, is it Iran that's holding Assange without charges? Or yeah, exactly. You're right. Is Iran the person that's about to send Roger Stone to jail for the rest of his life over forgetting an email that he sent? Is that Iran that's doing it? Because I want to know. Because if it's Iran, what's fucking crazy? Are they doing that? So don't give me this fucking bullshit line defending our fucking freedoms. Is it Iran's intelligence agency that has covertly been running this government since JFK was in office? Is it them? Are they the ones doing it? Is there not a radical Islam? Is there a shit ton of dual citizenship Iranians in the Senate and the House that are passing laws against us? Is it them? Is Iran the reason we don't have a wall yet? It's Iran's fault? That's the freedom they're protecting? Is it Iran's fault that people are fucking dying in the streets because of drug overdose and the only people making money are the people that make Narcan? That's Iran? They're the ones? I could go literally do the whole show and go all day and all the things that Iran must be doing to us. Iran's the one that started a fucking race war in this country? It was them? Iran's the one marching in the streets with Black Lives Matter, blocking traffic? That's Iran? Those are Iranians that are doing it? No, I don't fucking think so. So don't fucking try to sell me your 2001 talking points, motherfuckers. I ain't falling for it again. You could call me whenever you want. And look, man, again, I will be clear. I am not a political talking head. I have views that may change in my life. That's what happens, right? I've said it before. I was an edgelord atheist, Ron Paul libertarian, but over time your views change. You know, new information comes in. You see certain things don't work, and that's fine. It's okay to be that way. Actually, having views your entire life that are exactly the same from the day you're born to the day you die is fucking weird to me. The fact that you don't learn, that you don't change is odd. But what I am is I'm a fucking citizen of this fucking country, just casually observing what's happening. And when somebody tells me that these people are fucking protecting my freedoms, and I see that people in Washington D.C. are the ones taking away our freedoms, Iran's not the reason that I can't use a plastic straw when I go to a restaurant. They're not. You're right. And you know what? Iran's not the one trying to pass red flag laws. They're not. Not to my knowledge. Iranians don't control the banking systems. Iranians didn't cause the 2006 housing market crisis. Was it them? Did they do it? Is Iran the reason that fucking prescription drugs cost so much in the United States but are so cheap everywhere else?
Whoa!
Is it Iran?
Look at that.
Superfly, what's up?
Black pill time. We aren't gonna do anything to get our freedoms back. We have Disney Plus and The Mandalorian now. Dumb entertainment and weed to pacify the masses while the government does whatever it wants.
Mitch says Iran probably has red flag laws, but it's for their citizens. Exactly, it's their citizens, though. It doesn't affect. But I'm fine with that. They could do whatever they want with their citizens. That's their thing. Do what you want. Do what they want. Exactly, Drew Jackson. Stain. Iran didn't lose $2.1 billion in September 10th. I stop selling me this bill of fucking goods. What's Chucky Schumer saying?
Inside the White House, we just heard now from GOP members there of the House, and now here is Senator Chuck Schumer speaking on the Senate floor.
Thankful for the safety of American forces and personnel in the region. I condemn the attack by the Iranian government and remain concerned about the risk of further escalation of hostilities in the Middle East. Now more than ever, the United States must be clear-headed and sure-footed about what comes next. The American people do not want a war with Iran, and the president does not have the authority to wage one. Yesterday, we learned that the president had ordered the deployment of at least as many as 4,500 soldiers to the region, potentially more. Beyond Iraq, the United States military now has more than 70,000 troops in the Middle East, from Kuwait to Qatar, to Afghanistan, to the UAE, to Saudi Arabia, to Jordan, Oman, and Bahrain. The president has promised to get the United States out of these forever wars in the Middle East, but the arrow is headed in the wrong direction.
Fuck you. I know you hate Trump, but fuck you, Chuck. You don't now get to come later. You don't get to come in now afterwards later, because when Obama was when they were killing Gaddafi, because he was trying to start his own fucking money, all right? When Obama was sending people to Libya and Syria and drone striking the planet, and you were all for it and cheering him on, you don't get to come now and go, he said we were going to take troops out. Fuck you. The only reason he's doing this is because they fucking hate Trump, right? But in reality, shut your fucking mouth. I was going to say an adjective, but I'm not. Shut your fucking mouth. Thank you, Lama Dirk.
This didn't start in 1979. It started in 1983, and we are finally fighting back.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Iron Sheik, baby. You don't get to now hear and wring your hands, Chuck, because when Obama was in there, you were perfectly fine with sending more troops. As a matter of fact, you signed off on it. You signed off on sending more troops there. In reality, he knows we're not going to pull the troops out, but he's posturing. Because the moment we do, your little buddies in that other country where you have a citizenship in, Chuck, and don't think I don't know that, they wouldn't be very happy now, would they? Fuck you, Chuck. You don't get to come in now after Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi perpetuated this war in the fucking Middle East. And to sit here now and pretend like, oh my God, I can't believe it. There's 80,000 troops there. How many of them were sent there under your fucking watch, you fucko? How many were sent there when Obama was in there? You don't get to fucking sit here now and pretend like you're not part of it. I don't fucking buy it, homie. The only real person that could sit up there and go fucking we can't honestly would be Ron Paul. I mean that sincerely, because he at least consistently, even since 2001, didn't sign the Patriot Act and said we shouldn't be there, we shouldn't be there, we shouldn't fucking be there. No matter who the fuck was president, he was saying we shouldn't fucking be there. So you could go fuck yourself, Chuck. You and Nancy don't get to come in. Don't get to come in later. You and Nancy don't get to come in later and go, there shouldn't be a war. I never liked war. You are the biggest pieces of shit war. Dude, they were fucking sitting there partying and high-fiving Hillary until she had to get Tom John surgery because of all the fucking high fives she was giving when they were taking out fucking Gaddafi and fucking drone striking hospitals. Fuck you, Chuck. Fuck you. Fuck you to the nth degree, you piece of fucking human horseshit. You coming in later. We're part of the reason we've been in there for so long is because of people like you. You don't get to come now and later and Monday morning quarterback your way out of this. You were in there. You could have been this bolsterous about it when Obama was in office, but you weren't. You sat in there making sure that Amy Schumer, your fucking niece, got a career. Fuck you too, Chuck Schumer.
In the world. The men and women of our armed forces should know that we are standing with them and will continue to support them as they meet and overcome today's threats from malign actors, including Iran and its proxy militias. Our partners should know that we remain committed to our strategic priorities in the Middle East, deterring Iranian bad behavior, sustaining the enduring defeat of ISIS, and supporting Iraq as it becomes a strong and independent nation.
They did become a strong and independent nation, and they voted to get the troops to leave, and you said no. Don't sell me your horse shit. When a fucking averaged IQ piece of shit Cuban like me understand what's going on, you guys have a fucking problem on your hands. Because I'm not some fucking high IQ in an intellectual dark web motherfucker. I'm just a fucking guy who's realizing what's going on. And just like those dudes that we played, those black guys that we played in Brooklyn yesterday, normal people are figuring this out. And they've had it with your shit. I've had it with your shit.
And the architects of terror should know that we will not tolerate attacks against America's people and interests, and will exercise our right to self-defense should that become necessary once again. With that, I'll open this up for some questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I just wanted to clarify one thing. You said earlier that the U.S. continues to engage ISIS in Syria. Has the anti-ISIS campaign in Syria been affected at all by this? And then secondly, there seems to be continued confusion among Iraqi officials about this draft letter. There was a televised appearance by Mahdi earlier today in which he sort of laid out what he said was a signed letter. That
Whoa! Look at that.
Thank you, Superfly.
How come our greatest ally in the region said that this was solely a USA problem and they were in no way, shape, or form involved in it?
Of course. Why wouldn't they? But every time they do something, we're involved in it.
Iraqis got, those are his words, and he suggested that another letter should be sent. What have you done and are you continuing to do to clear up what you said yesterday was a mistake?
Our policy has not changed. We are not leaving Iraq. And a draft unsigned letter does not constitute a policy change.
We're not leaving Iraq, even though the democratic system in Iraq, whether you like it or not, the one that you installed, by the way, said that they want you to leave. You're not going to leave.
And there is no signed letter, to the best of my knowledge. I've asked the question. So there may be people trying to create confusion, but we should focus on this much. What I've said a few times now, our policy has not changed. We are in Iraq, and we are there to support Iraqi forces and the Iraqi government become a strong, independent, and prosperous country.
They're trying to. If you were to fucking leave.
And in Syria, the ISIS in Syria?
I've gotten no report from a commander saying that we've had a material impact on our ability to engage ISIS along with our SDF partners.
Yeah, you're right. Even though they lied to us for 18 years about Afghanistan, but you're right. This time it's going to be different.
Now the ball is in their court. What they do next will determine what happens in the subsequent moves.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I would like to ask you, before the attack against Qasem Soleimani, have you been in consultations with your partners in the region? I mean, the GCC countries or Israel. If you have informed them that this operation is going to take place today at this moment?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the details of our consultations on any matter with other countries. Obviously, we've been talking about our force posture in Iraq for some time, our concerns about Iranian actions or the actions that they are inspiring, resourcing, or directing through its militias. But I'm not going to get into any details.
Just a quick follow-up on your remarks about the parliamentary vote. You raised some questions about the kind of people who did vote and didn't vote yesterday and today. Do you believe that vote was legitimate? That resolution calling on U.S. forces to leave was legitimate? And then separately, on the issue of, you said that you expect Iran to retaliate. Are there any off-ramps to this crisis, or do you expect that we're heading towards this military confrontation?
On the first question, I won't characterize it any differently than what many other people have characterized it, many experts, and that is as non-binding. And we know there are mechanisms by which they would have to act. I'm not an expert on the Iraqi government, so I characterize it the way I did with you.
Oh, there's a lot of experts on Iraqi government. That's really, it's nice to know. There's a lot of experts on Iraqi government. Sure, that's great. Then why have we been there? Why have we been there for so long? Expert? Why have we been there for 17 years? Mr. Expert? Is it because they hate our freedom fries? Is that why? Is that the reason? Exactly. You peasants don't deserve details. That's right. Don't deserve. We don't warrant. We're dumb idiots. We're dumb idiots that are going to play our Xbox and watch our Netflix. What do we need to know about international war and 18-year-olds going to die? What? We're so stupid. Are you kidding me? Did you watch the new Star Wars movie? Hey, by the way, you fucking idiots, I could watch The Mandalorian and still have plenty of time to pay attention to what the fuck you fucks are doing. You get that, right? I know we're a bunch of hayseeds and we're just sitting, we're the serfs sitting down while you guys shit in your little Washington, D.C. fucking castle. But we understand what's going on. I think we understand now what's going on more than we've ever understood. I don't think you could do the whole patriotic bullshit anymore with these people. With no people. I don't think people care. Donation?
Whoa!
Thank you, Lichcore.
The U.S. in Iraq is like a friend that asked to stay over your house a few days and 1 month later he is still sleeping on your futon and eating all of your food.
No, it's even worse than that, because it's like if the friend that stayed over in the U.S. being in Iraq and in Iran, and then they told you what to do and changed the TV channel every time you tried to watch something. More like that. More like that.
The other day is non-binding. With regard to the off-ramps, there's a big off-ramp sitting in front of Tehran right now, and that is to de-escalate, to message us that they want to sit down and talk without precondition, by the way, to the United States about a better way forward, a way forward which would constitute a new mode of behavior by Iran, where they behave more like a normal country, and that would one could presume free them up.
Yeah, and then also pick the fight with a next door neighbor.
Economic sanctions and allow the Iranian people to pursue the life they want to live, and that is one with.
Yeah, Funk Farmer's got a really good point. I'm sure we have a great reason to send 18-year-olds to get blown up. Just nobody can seem to explain what that is.
Sourced attacks against the United States that resulted in the killing of American and the siege of our embassy in Baghdad, and was in
Read siege.
Baghdad to coordinate additional attacks. To somehow suggest that he wasn't a legitimate target, I think, is fanciful. He was clearly on the battlefield. He was conducting or preparing, planning military operations. He was a legitimate target, and his time was due.
He was he was an Iranian general.
Of the size, scope, and eminence, you were aware how skeptical people are of the imminent threat issue. You were there in 2003 when you heard all that. So temper expectations. What are you prepared to disclose to Congress?
Well, look, first of all, much of my messaging to Congress will be the same as what I'm delivering to you all here in terms of
not the closed door stuff.
My views on the policy, the broader regional situation, the history. Obviously, with members of Congress, we can go into a classified set. We will be in a classified setting and be able to share more. But the exquisite intelligence that we're talking about that led to the decision that was, I should say, one of the factors that led to the decision to strike at Soleimani is only shared with a handful of members, the so-called Gang of Eight. And so they are getting that briefing this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And,
only they get to know.
Have access to that, but most members will not have access to that.
Only they get to know. Nobody else gets to know.
Force posture in the region. What about force protection levels? Have you gone up to the C or Delta highest level?
The commanders in the region, and I should say globally, are taking all appropriate force protection measures relevant to their situation, the threat that they're.
Don't worry, the Gang of Eight gets to know. You fucking losers who are going to send your children to the desert to fucking die because they didn't get good grades in high school. You don't need to know. You fucking losers. You fucking pieces of shit. You don't get to know. What do you think? You think you have a say in this? You think you have a say? You think this is some sort of democratic government? You think you get to decide? You don't get to decide. Are you crazy? A bunch of people whose lives will never be affected. A bunch of draft-dodging fucking nobodies. A bunch of people who would never send their kids to go fucking do this. They're the ones that are going to decide. Not you. You're an idiot. You work at Meineke. What do you know? Huh? You're a cashier at Marshall's. Why does it matter to you? You fucking piece of shit. You work on a farm. What does it matter to you? Huh? You answer a phone at a call center. What do you care? If your fucking neighbor or your son or your brother or your father goes and dies, you don't need to know. Who cares? Trust us. When have we ever let you down? When have we ever lied to you? Give me an example when we've ever lied to you.
But now
I would love to. Please tell me. We've never done that. You fucking pieces of shit. Do you think you have a say? While we sit here in our fucking Armani suits, huh? And sleep on our Bull and Branch sheets. And some kid is out there drinking Rip It energy drinks, but not old enough to smoke a cigarette, is eating 10-year-old MREs and getting 1 hour of sleep in a fucking Humvee without air conditioning that breaks down and isn't armored. Don't worry. The people sitting in a nice air conditioning with a waiter bringing them iced tea are going to tell you.
Government. I can kill again. You've given me a reason to live. Happy birthday, Roy.
They know. Yep. It's fantastic. But don't worry. It's fine. You're guys, everything is fine. Hey, Trump, I know you like to be late to things, and I know you think it's an alpha move, but today, why don't you get your fucking ass out there at exactly 11 a.m.? Just today, all right? Be Mr. fucking alpha male another day. Get out there at 11 a.m. and let us know what the fuck is going on. Because I'd love to know what's happening next. I think a lot of people would. I know we're just pieces of shit. I know we're just fucking morons that are sitting around and fucking changing tires at a Walmart auto center. But if you wouldn't mind, maybe you should be out there. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I'm just going to hit play and just mute it until he comes out so we could see. Because you were going to cover it. I mean, that's what today's show's going to be, guys. This is what it's going to be. Thank you, Superfly.
Be careful with the words trust or trust the plan. They will put you on the domestic terrorist watch list. All those QAnon idiots are now domestic terrorist extremists.
So stupid, by those QAnon idiots are morons, but they're definitely not terrorists. But you're right, the people that are working night shifts, that are working the night shift, they get home at 6 a.m. in the morning, all right, to make sure your Amazon fucking packages are delivered every day. They don't get a right to know. They're not the Gang of 8. Don't you know that? People sitting on a cargo plane right now that are flying over there waiting to see what do we attack next for our interest because Dan, I wasn't good enough to keep both eyeballs. Crenshaw said so. But don't worry, everything's going to be fine. They know better than you. Don't you know that? All of them know better than you. You're stupid people. We're all dumb. It's 11:01. Trump, the fuck out of there now. Where the fuck? Do not. Anytime. Look, I get the whole make them wait. Hey, Trump, you fucking asshole. This isn't one of your gala parties. 11 a.m. Be the fuck out there now. This should be enraging to everybody watching. Whether you love Trump, whether you fucking hate Trump, it doesn't matter. This should be enraging people. $11:02, Trump. Where are you? We're waiting. We're waiting for you, man. I would love to hear it. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But don't worry, guys. There's a bunch of dudes that are wearing army stuff that have never been in the army shouting in their trucks and telling you how fucking important this is, how we need to do this. So many people with no skin in the game. I don't have skin in the game. I'm not going to be drafted. I'm too fat and too old. I ain't going. I'm going to be fine. But if you're not fucking a human being, if we're going to send our fellow citizens to fucking die, then I'd really like to know why. So let's go. Come on. Drag yourself out there, Trump. Let's see what you're going to say. Come on. 11:03. Is this not that important to you? Sure is important to a lot of people. We're waiting, Trump. We're fucking waiting. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna play some other updates if I can while we wait for him, and then we'll break in.
07 Royce, I'm with you. Arguing with these blind following MAGA-tards has been exhausting. I served in the Army infantry and was called un-American for not blindly supporting this pointless war.
Yep. Exactly. You're un-American and you must love terrorists. Let's just play some stuff people were saying during while it was happening, and then when Strunk comes out, I'll mute it and we'll go immediately to him. Okay? I'm gonna keep this on the screen so we could be, as soon as he comes on, I'll unmute it.
But first, if you were at an airport over the weekend, you may have seen American troops on the move, leaving their families on their way to the Middle East. Now, just a month ago, not 1 in 100 Americans was thinking about a.
No, that's not. That's an old one. Sorry, I was just going on Fox News and trying to see if there was anything any new updates. Just give me a sec. Let's see here.
Fox News alert now, a Ukrainian jet crashing in Iran minutes after takeoff yesterday, killing all 176 people on board. The Boeing 737 had just left Iran's capital of Tehran for Ukraine. Dan Springer's live in Seattle with more on what we are learning about this. Dan.
And Sandra, at this point, there is no indication, no evidence that the crash was caused by the rocket attack launched from Iran earlier in the night. In fact, Ukraine's embassy in Iran put out a statement earlier ruling out terrorism or a rocket attack. It went on to say the crash was caused by a mechanical problem, but that statement was later removed from their website. We know that the disaster happened right after the 6:10 a.m. takeoff from the airport in Tehran. The flight was headed to Kiev, Ukraine. Flight tracker data shows it climbed to 8,000 feet as normal, but then the information stops. Debris was found as close as 6 miles away from that airport. There were no survivors, 176 people on board, 82 were from Iran, 63 were Canadian. There were no Americans on the flight. Reuters is reporting that the head of Iran's civil aviation ministry says the plane's black box, which we all know is critical to determining the cause of the crash, will not be turned over.
11:08, Trump. Anytime now. Anytime. Whenever you want, bud. Take your time. This isn't important.
To Boeing for analysis. That's done all the time in crashes. This is the first fatal crash of a Ukrainian International Airlines flight, and it was suspended all service to Iran. The plane involved was a Boeing 737-800, not the 737 MAX jet that has been grounded worldwide for the.
Okay, so it wasn't the 737 MAX jet. All right, so I was wrong. It was a different 737.
Well, a month ago, as we said.
Okay, this is Representative Van Drew. Okay, this is what I was looking for. This interview. Hold on.
Democrats are telling you.
While we wait, we're waiting for Trump.
Urgent necessity. It wasn't simply that the president was a bad man. They told you that America's very national security was at stake.
President Trump is a clear and present danger to our free and fair elections and our national security.
The president is an
delay. Well, of course, in the end, the delays were of the Democrats making it. And moreover, in the end.
No, that isn't it. This is weird. I was trying to find. Tucker had an interview, and I wasn't just trying to play my Tucker. He did have an interview with a retired colonel, I believe. And for some reason, they normally clip that stuff. I'm not seeing. I don't see Fox didn't clip it, which is very telling to me because the colonel was like, we shouldn't be there. It was actually really pretty enlightening interview, and I can't seem to find it. It's almost like it goes against the entire fucking narrative that these people are trying to pull off. Let me see here. Today. I'm trying to see if I could find it. Nope. This is weird. Okay. Normally his stuff is clipped like immediately, like the night of. And he had this interview with a colonel. And I'm really sorry, guys. I thought that it would be easier to find. I don't know why this is really weird. It should be easier to find than this. I'm trying to find it. Give me a second here. Nope, can't find it. Wow, that's really fucking weird. There's no clips of it, right? You guys aren't finding it either, right? Colonel McGregor. Yeah. I'm trying to find it. Nothing yet. I have it live. You see it here. I have it live. But you guys saw the interview, right? I thought it was a really good interview. And hold on, let me see if I find it. Here it is. Okay, I think hold on. I got it.
The president has had his first Vietnam moment.
Here we go.
He was walked up to the edge. He looked into the abyss and he said, "No, thank you."
No, this is old. That's from the 21st, the 30th, the 3rd. No, I'm not finding any of ones from yesterday. And I'm looking. I promise you, I'm looking. It was actually fucking, come on. Hey, it's 11:10. You want to show up at some point? Huh? He phoned in, exactly. I remember I watched it. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, he called in. To the extent of, look, they attacked. There's a way out of this. We need to de-escalate. God damn it. It really bothers me that I can't. It's really weird because they always clip these things. I mean, the only thing I could think of is short of finding the full episode, but the full episode, I can't even find the full episode. Let me see. I'm going to try one more thing. Again, because look, guys, we have plenty. We have plenty of time here. As you can see, we have plenty of time. Plenty of time, because Trump's gonna 11 a.m. Australian around 11:15, maybe 11:30. I don't know. I'm a busy dude. I'm a busy guy. You know. We'll see when we show up. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll figure it out, folks. Prep bag. Okay. I'm checking, guys. Give me a sec. No, that's from 4 days ago. Wait, there it is. I got it.
So consistently over the past 3 years, one of the voices we have turned to, really the voice we've turned to first
Thank you so
on
much.
These questions, is retired Army Colonel Douglas McGregor. He couldn't make it to a studio tonight, but he is joining us now by phone, and we want to get his assessment of what we've been watching tonight. These attacks, Doug, on the base in Iraq by Iran amount to what, do you think? What does this mean?
Well, I think it means that we're about to find out if we got the president we voted for.
Good.
The question is, will he de-escalate and withdraw our forces from Iraq as the Iraqi government has requested and the American people demand? Or is he now going to respond in a way that guarantees a larger war with uncertain possibilities and outcomes? A war that undoubtedly will destroy his presidency. So I think those are the three critical questions.
But remember, all the military people are for this. You know, except for, Colonel Douglas McGregor, though. But everyone's for this.
And I also think what we're seeing is what happens when you surround yourself with people who never really supported you, and that's the case for the president, and have always been dedicated to intensifying conflict in the Middle East.
Right. And this conflict specifically, the conflict with Iran specifically, has been the decades-long focus of a very small group of people here in Washington. John Bolton, the former national security advisor, the disgraced national security advisor, would be a leader in that group. So you're saying that the president has, in effect, been used by people who despise him in order to get to where we are tonight?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, after all, our principal enemy from 2001 forward, some would say much earlier, were the Sunni Islamists. And yet, over and over and over again, there has been a desperate attempt by a series of leaders in this country and, more important, powerful, influential voices inside the Trump administration, pushing the president into conflict with Iran. And at this point, certainly we could go to war with Iran. Iran would suffer. The Russians would undoubtedly join the fray at some point. The Chinese, with inexhaustible piles of cash, will finance the Russians and ultimately go to work to help the Iranians. The Europeans will look at this as though we've lost our minds, and they're probably right. The Japanese, the Koreans will stay out of it, refuse to have anything to do with this. And when the rest of the Middle East starts to be destroyed under hails of missiles, I imagine that our alleged strategic partners in the Arabian Peninsula will back away. So this is a very dumb idea. And remember that.
But remember, Colonel McGregor must love terrorists because he's not for it. He's one of them crazy vets that doesn't get it. Because all vets are for this. My boys are all for this.
When you destroy Iran, you are essentially opening the floodgates to Mr. Erdogan and Turkey and the Sunni Islamists that we have been fighting. If you like ISIS, destroy Iran, and you will get ISIS times 100.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And I have to say, I mean, if we're being honest, to hear you describe correctly Russia as an effective ally of China really is heartbreaking. It didn't have to be that way. The American left did that. They drove Russia into the arms of China when this country could have struck an alliance of convenience with Russia against our actual enemy, China. No, we weren't allowed to do that. And that's one of the reasons we wound up where we are.
And I think it's vital that the president remember that 64% of veterans who actually fought in Iraq all concluded a long time ago that it was not worth fighting.
Yeah. Well,
and that has to be understood because 59%.
4%. 11-16. Any time now, Donnie. Any fucking time now.
The American public agrees with them. Right. You cannot fight effectively against anyone when the public support at home is non-existent or weak.
Well, that is, we've proved that sadly a number of times in a number of different conflicts. Douglas McGregor, thank you so much for your clarity tonight.
Yeah, Mitch goes 64% seems low, but again, I was never polled. That's what I want. I wanted to play because I thought McGregor was fucking on point. On fucking point. No, they didn't mean Central Time. Hey, Trump. Any time now, man.
Whoa! Look at that.
Thank you, Superfly.
What if he had a horrible bout of IBS?
I mean, if that's the case, I forgive him. I know what that feels like, but I don't think so. I think he has a horrible case of I show up whenever the fuck I want because I want to be an alpha male syndrome. Hey, Trump, we're waiting. We're waiting. $11:18, folks. 11:18. Still no Trump. Maybe his smoke alarm went off. That's very funny. That's very funny. Look, I'm gonna see if I pull up more updates because there's no point in me moving on if I'm gonna go back to this. Like, there just isn't any point in me moving on if I'm gonna go back to this, and I'm gonna go back to this. I really would like to hear what's going on. So far, I mean, if I remember, so far, after the 3 days of mourning is when they attacked, right? I believe that's what happened. After the 3 days of mourning, is when they retaliated. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I could find any updates. I really would like to find any new updates on the plane, but I have a feeling that we're not going to get any updates on the plane. And I see. Okay, no, nothing yet, guys. Sorry. I understand it's a little scatterbrained. This isn't, set up like I normally like to do it with different prep and moving on to thing after thing. But obviously, we're waiting on Trump to decide when he wants to, take this seriously. At any point now. At any point now. We'll get old Trump's old Donnie boy. Come on, man. At this point, look, and I was just shitting on, this is the thing, man. I was just shitting on these people. They don't care. They think we're stupid. This is the same thing. Whether you like Trump, whether you don't, whether I vote for him again or I don't, I still might, be honest. I like to be honest with people, right? This is this arrogance. This is arrogance. This is arrogance of going, I'm going to come on whenever. There's people waiting to see if we're going to get him in an international conflict, but it doesn't matter because you're fucking losers, okay? They clean the rooms at the Trump Hotel. Wait, what does it matter? I'll talk to him whenever I want. Whenever I feel like it, I'm a little busy right now. I was doing stuff. Me and Barron were playing Call of Duty, all right? And we were poning some noobs. And I almost had a kill streak. What do you want me to do? You want me to stop? I'm not going to stop. Yeah, fashionably late's 3 minutes. Trump is probably pissed. He seems like a punctual. He's not punctual. He's always late to these things. I've covered enough of these things. He's always late to these things. Always. Look, I'm really busy, all right? We were crushing it. Me and Barron were playing the new Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. It's really fun. It's a fun game, and I was just getting strategies and ideas for what we're going to do in Iran. It's crazy, I watched this footage I was playing. It was crazy. This footage is nuts, The Russians aren't bad. I saw a video where this guy walked in the airport and he was like, look, remember, no Russian. And then went in there and shot it up, It's crazy, These Russians are. They're hiding, folks. They're hiding in plain sight. $360 no scope Trump. That's what they call him. That's what they call him. Some of you don't know, but you've probably been playing Call of Duty with him. Thank you, Miami MILF.
Even Obama was on time. Come on.
Well, you're right. Well, half on time. At least half of them was on time. I hope Trump comes out in a bathrobe. Hey, what's up? Sorry, guys. I just woke up. Had a long night last night. I really apologize. I was talking to Giuliani. We were hanging out. Guys, sorry. Hey, he comes out with a fucking coffee mug. He comes out with a coffee mug that says, world's best president. Hair's all askewed. In a bathrobe. Fuzzy slippers. Oh, guys, look, I'm really sorry. Oh, my God. I overslept. Guys, I'm really sorry I overslept. I stayed up really late last night. I was talking Netanyahu. We were shooting the shit. And I was like, you hang up first. And he was like, you hang up first. And I was like, no, you hang up first. And we were just up really late. Like, here's the thing. The problem is people don't know this. Me and Netanyahu, we sit together and we watch episodes of The Witcher together on the phone and go, oh, my God, did you see what just happened? A lot of people don't know that about me and Netanyahu. Whoa! We just sit there and we watch Netflix together. Thank
While
you,
we
Semper
were waiting
Reloaded.
for the president to get off the toilet, check out this guy.
Okay.
He provides Dayton Hypernova level content with none of the charisma.
No, trust me. I think I'm like the savior of the world.
Oh boy.
I value my life.
Is he?
I was talking about that the other day when I was talking about suicide. Because I struggled with suicide for a long time. Because,
it's fucking mean.
My mom tried to get...
No, you hang up. Hey, Benjamin, I know we're watching Witcher, but have you seen The Mandalorian? What do we got? Hold on. No. False alarm. False alarm, folks. False alarm. It's really crazy now. Barry and I just got Disney Plus. It's great. We're Verizon Unlimited, so we got it for free. It's awesome. We've been watching Mandalorian. And guys, I never watched this. Have you seen a show called Rescue Rangers? It's amazing. These rodents are really brave. 11:24. 11:24. $11.24. Yeah, it looks like it put a new fucking briefing. Look, guys, I've been watching Disney Plus, and I'll be honest with you. I got cut up. I just finished the first season of Bonkers. That show's amazing. He's a cartoon cop, Thin Blue Line. We have to respect him. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Come on, Trump. We're waiting, man. 11:30. Dude, this is just outright disrespectful. This is fucking outright disrespectful. You think he's a Darkwing Duck fan? I don't know, man. Maybe. Mom, I said like 5 more minutes. You're right. Knocking on the door. Trump, come on. They're waiting on you. Gosh, Mom, let me finish. All right, I'm going to raid right now with my friends. Look, I'm playing WoW Classic, okay? My level 25 mage, I'm trying to level him up. Give me a second. It's an online game. I can't pause. I say, it's an online game. I can't pause. Come on, give me a sec. I can't pause an online game, and if I disconnect, I can't then play for 24 hours. You know that. Everyone knows that. Well, Pence. Here we go. Look at this killer's row. Literal killer's row. With all the generals. This does not bode well. This is not, oh boy. This is not boding. All right, here we go. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, all right. Well, is he going to... 11:30. I'm glad you got your boys out there. Come on, Axel. Let's do this. Let's go, Axel. Come on. Here we go. Oh, you're so epic. Get to it. Here we go. I'll shut up.
As long as I'm president of the United States, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. Good morning.
Okay.
I'm pleased to inform you the American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. We suffered no casualties. All of our soldiers are safe, and only minimal damage was sustained at our military bases. Our great American forces are prepared for anything.
Why are you out of breath?
Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world. No American or Iraqi lives were lost because of the precautions taken, the dispersal of forces, and an early warning system that worked very well. I salute the incredible skill and courage of America's men and women in uniform. For far too long, all the way back to 1979 to be exact, nations have tolerated Iran's destructive and destabilizing behavior in the Middle East and beyond. Those days are over. Iran has been the leading sponsor of terrorism, and their pursuit of nuclear weapons threatens the civilized world. We will never let that happen. Last week, we took decisive action to stop a ruthless terrorist from threatening American lives. At my direction, the United States military eliminated the world's top terrorist, Qasem Soleimani. As the head of the Quds Force, Soleimani was personally responsible for some of the absolutely worst atrocities. He trained terrorist armies, including Hezbollah, launching terrorist strikes against civilian targets. He fueled bloody civil wars all across the region. He viciously wounded and murdered thousands of U.S. troops, including the planting of roadside bombs that maim and dismember their victims. Soleimani directed the recent attacks on U.S. personnel in Iraq that badly wounded 4 service members and killed 1 American, and he orchestrated the violent assault on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. In recent days, he was planning new attacks on American targets, but we stopped him. Soleimani's hands were drenched in both American and Iranian blood. He should have been terminated long ago. By removing Soleimani, we have sent a powerful message to terrorists. If you value your own life, you will not threaten the lives of our people. As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime. These powerful sanctions will remain until Iran changes its behavior. In recent months alone, Iran has seized ships in international waters, fired an unprovoked strike on Saudi Arabia, and shot down 2 U.S. drones.
Oh, wow, robots.
Iran's hostilities substantially increased after the foolish Iran nuclear deal was signed in 2013, and they were given $150 billion, not to mention $1.8 billion in cash. Instead of saying thank you to the United States, they chanted death to America. In fact, they chanted death to America the day the agreement was signed.
Yeah, and Saudi Arabia too, Trump.
Then Iran went on a terror spree, funded by the money from the deal, and created hell in Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Afghanistan, and Iraq.
None American,
The
no American
missiles fired
countries.
last night at us and our allies were paid for with the funds made available by the last administration. The regime also greatly tightened the reins on their own country, even recently killing 1,500 people at the many protests that are taking place all throughout Iran. The very defective JCPOA expires shortly anyway and gives Iran a clear and quick path to nuclear breakout. Iran must abandon its nuclear ambitions and end its support for terrorism. The time has come for the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Russia, and China
I've heard this before.
to recognize this reality. They must now break away from the remnants of the Iran deal, or JCPOA. And we must all work together toward making a deal with Iran that makes the world a safer and more peaceful place. We must also make a deal that allows Iran to thrive and prosper and take advantage of its enormous untapped potential. Iran can be a great country. Peace and stability cannot prevail in the Middle East as long as Iran continues to foment violence, unrest, hatred, and war. The civilized world must send a clear and unified message to the Iranian regime. Your campaign of terror, murder, mayhem will not be tolerated any longer.
Tolerated.
It will not be allowed to go forward. Today, I am going to ask NATO to become much more involved in the Middle East process. Over the last 3 years, under my leadership, our economy is stronger than ever before, and America has achieved energy independence. These historic accomplishments change our strategic priorities. These are accomplishments that nobody thought were possible. And options in the Middle East became available. We are now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world. We are independent, and we do not need Middle East oil.
We know that.
The American military has been completely rebuilt under my administration at a cost of $2.5 trillion.
I could have built a nice wall.
U.S. armed forces are stronger than ever before. Our missiles are big, powerful, accurate, lethal, and fast. Under construction are many hypersonic missiles. The fact that we have this great military and equipment, however, does not mean we have to use it. We do not want to use it. American strength, both military and economic, is the best deterrent. 3 months ago, after destroying 100% of ISIS and its territorial caliphate, we killed the savage leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi, who was responsible for so much death, including the mass beheadings of Christians, Muslims, and all who stood in his way. He was a monster. Al-Baghdadi was trying again to rebuild the ISIS caliphate and failed. Tens of thousands of ISIS fighters have been killed or captured during my administration.
I'm just sniffing with him.
ISIS is a natural enemy of Iran. The destruction of ISIS is good for Iran, and we should work together on this and other shared priorities. Finally, to the people and leaders of Iran, we want you to have a future, and a great future, one that you deserve, one of prosperity at home and harmony with the nations of the world. The United States is ready to embrace peace with all who seek it. I want to thank you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well,
those were the remarks by President Trump, going about 9 minutes right there, talking about what happened last night, but also for the future.
He didn't say anything.
And also the future of Iran and U.S.
He
relations.
didn't say anything.
Let's show you just moments ago, in case you just missed it, President Trump's full remarks off the top.
We just watched it. He
Of the United States.
Well, first off, is he winded?
Iran
Is he sick?
Will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. Good morning. I'm pleased to inform you.
There wasn't
the American
much there to fucking a lot of typical talking points, but
and happy. No Americans
he didn't
were
say
harmed
anything
in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. We suffered
And what's
no
going on with the
casualties.
sniffs?
All of our soldiers are safe, and only minimal damage was sustained at our military bases.
Look, I mean, as of right now,
great
I will
American
agree.
forces
I
are
mean,
prepared.
it's look, no war as of right now, right? Or no new retaliation as of right now. No new retaliation. So good. I mean, I'm happy to hear that. Okay, I am. I really am. Yeah, I know America's making money, but that's not what we care about right now, Trump. Does it? We'll see. What about now? I don't know. How about now? Yeah, we'll see if it stays the case by the time ROTC starts. We'll see, man. I am happy that it didn't escalate as of yet. So I guess it's good news. Not everything that we wanted, obviously. I'd rather pull everybody out, but by the way, these other people ain't going to help you. You could call on these other people. They ain't going to help you, homie. It ain't going to happen. You're right. I haven't seen the black unemployment rate. Yeah, so as of right now, it looks like sanctions, which I don't give a fuck about, and no war. All right. A trade war it is. I'll take that over a land war. Which, by the way, is if you notice something, was very different to what we watched when Crenshaw and the other assholes were up there. Very, very, very different to what they were saying. So, yeah, man, I guess keep your fingers crossed. That's all we can do. I still stand. Exactly. Other things Crenshaw talked about could be avoided if we just came home. Look, I agree. I still think we need to leave. Because maybe sanctions for now, which I'm happy about. If it's not going to be war, I'm also very happy. We'll see what happens by the time ROTC comes on. But I'm very happy for that. But again, we're playing with fire hanging out there. We agree with that, right? We're playing with fire. We still have troops there. We're in that area and we're playing with fire. We need to leave. We need to fucking leave. Yeah, he sounds weird. He did sound weird. Tired. The sniffs are weird.
In response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime.
I'm fine with that.
These powerful sanctions will remain until Iran changes its behavior. In recent months alone, Iran has seized ships in international waters, fired an unprovoked strike on Saudi Arabia.
I don't care about that.
And shot down 2 U.S. drones.
I don't care about that.
Iran's hostilities substantially
I don't care about that.
increased after the foolish Iran nuclear deal was signed in 2013. And they were given $150 billion, not to mention $1.8 billion in cash. Instead of saying thank you to the United States, they chanted death to America.
They also chanted that in some Jewish neighborhoods and in Saudi Arabia.
Then Iran went on a terror spree, funded by the money.
Maybe he has a post-nasal drip. Maybe it's his allergies.
Hell in Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Afghanistan, and Iraq. The missiles fired last night at us and our allies were paid for with the funds made available by the last administration.
Fair.
The regime also greatly tightened the reins on their own country, even recently killing 1,500 people.
That's right. You know what? You're right. All the QAnon people are going to be saying the sniffs were code. It was Morse code. I don't trust the sniffs. The sniffs were Morse code for the QAnon people.
POA expires shortly anyway and gives Iran a clear and quick path to nuclear breakout. Iran must abandon its nuclear ambitions and end its support for terrorism. The time has come for the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Russia, and China.
Russia and China ain't going to do shit, dog.
Reality. They must now break away.
Oh,
from
people
the
thought the
remnants
exaggerated sniffs for me. No, I was sniffing along with him.
of the Iran deal, or JCPOA. And we must all work together toward making a deal
17 sniffs. You confirmed.
with the world a safer and more peaceful place. We must also make a deal that allows Iran to thrive and prosper and take advantage of its enormous untapped potential.
Whoa!
Iran can be a great
He never says what he is going to do military-wise. So he could still take troops out, but doesn't mean he won't also send some rockets. Who knows? Guess we have to wait.
Yeah, pretty much. We pretty much just have to wait. I mean, I guess we'll see, man. I'm hoping for the best, but who knows? What makes me uncomfortable is the people in his ear. You know what I mean? The people in his ear make me very, very, very uncomfortable. I'm not jumping up and down. I mean, yeah, you're right. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen from now in a couple hours from now. I don't know. I would say that we are playing with fire, being out there and staying out there and thinking that it's going to get better. It's not going to get better. I would like to see all the troops, be pulled out immediately. That would be my take. All right, guys. I know it wasn't the most fun day wave, but we had to do it. Somebody had to take it seriously, right? Thank you for listening. I'll be back in a little over 4 hours with ROTC. Hopefully things will stay calm. We'll see. Remember, the show now is on iTunes and Spotify and Google Play and anywhere. Just search Daywave. It should come up. Thank you for listening, guys. I really do appreciate all the donations. You guys were the best. I know there's a lot of places you could have got updated on this stuff, and, I'm glad to see a lot of you chose to watch it with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful, amazing, and peaceful Daywave. Bye. Bye.
All gone. I don't know what to do about this dream and you. I wish this dream comes true. Oh, I don't know what to do about this dream and you. We'll make this dream come true. Play the game. Why don't you play the game?